So welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Quite anxious though, but I'm good.
That's all right. You're in safe hands.
Yeah, I know, right? Just giggling like schoolgirls.
Yeah, this is going to be... Welcome to the Punk Rock Health Giggle Hour.
Yeah.
We're just going to laugh at each other.
It's like as soon as we look at each other in the eyes.
It's all right. I'll do this. I'll just put my hands over my eyes.
Yeah, we just like go
Okay,
like this
cool.
and then just end.
So, Sophie, you're with us today to talk about your recent experience in moving to full sobriety in life. So you've been sober now for 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months and 1 week. Well, I think it's 8 days. Oi, oi.
Hey! It all counts.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So why don't you just start at the beginning of your story, as it were. So your relationship with alcohol and what made you decide to kick it full time, kick it.
Well, I'll do a little short story
Yeah.
of I started drinking around like 13, 14, but it wasn't like a Bacardi Breezer or something like that. It was like full on white A's, K cider, super tenants. Oh my god, just even thinking about it right now just makes me feel sick. I like had a bereavement quite early in my life, and I feel like that sort of like made a ripple effect of the alcoholism in my life. So I just bloody wake up in bushes and drink in school. I was a very secretive drinker.
Wow.
Not a lot of people actually even know that to today.
Wow.
But I thought I would share that with everyone today and to you.
Thank you.
Because I felt ready to do that. It'd be a very secret event for me, and a lot of other things kept secret, just sort of like, trying to get through the days of school, and as a teenager you kind of, you're hanging around new people, it's kind of seen as okay to like have a bit of a drink or whatever, have a bit of a smoke, weed, whatever, I don't know. But it was more of a like way of like coping for me,
Yeah. It wasn't just teenage bravado kind of.
Yeah, it went deep.
Peer pressure. It was a bit deeper than that.
Yeah. It was a way of coping, I think.
I think when you're a teenager as well, lots of things are acceptable in your peer group because nobody's really experienced enough to challenge behaviours. Everyone's flexing their personality for the first time properly in a way,
You don't really know who you are. You're like learning like new skills and ways to like deal with shit. And if alcohol is suppressing all that, it's like it just feels easier to like I don't know.
Takes the edge off.
It does.
Certainly takes the edge off, doesn't it? I mean, that's, what it does across the board for everybody. That's kind of part of its function in our society, especially in England. Like it's more acceptable. I think there's a big drinking culture, and
it's just like go for a pint down the pub after work. Like chill out with your mates, go to the pub. It's just it's easy. It's easy for it to become something more than that. And I think that element recently, it was like in the last few years, maybe it come to a point where it would be, I can't actually go out without knowing that I'm gonna have a drink.
Oh yes.
Or that there is going to be drinking after, or I know that I'm gonna get wrecked. Yeah. It's like and that's the element of social anxiety as well. Like I suffer with social anxiety. I was diagnosed when I was 18 with social anxiety, and it's so much better being sober. And like I'm still really anxious and strange and eccentric, but I just but it's just, it feels so much freer now that I'm sober, to be silly.
That's good. I mean, because you wouldn't necessarily think that. I think from an outside perspective, and a lot of my friends drink for socially anxious reasons. I mean, even the most socially normal, I don't know, what's the word? Socially available type. Even those people that you think like, oh, they're fine, they don't need to do it. Even they do it. Yeah. Everyone's having a cheeky pre-drink.
Yeah, cover shit up rather than actually being themselves and like having acceptance. Because that's the thing as well. It's like when you're trying to constantly cover shit up with alcohol, it's like you feel that guilt as well, because it's like you're never being yourself.
Yeah.
Or like you're never expressing yourself the way that you want to, because you're fucked all the time. Yeah. You know?
You're not your true self. You're not centered. You're kind of under the influence of something else.
Yeah, exactly. You're under the influence, and and then you make mistakes. Like when people are drunk, it's like, oh god, like it's kind of like it's been like an excuse. Like, oh, I'm drunk, I can get away with it. I smashed that table the other day. Oh, I was drunk. Haha, that's funny.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you're not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
You're blaming the devil.
Yeah.
Devil made me do it. It wasn't me.
Harry. Harry done it.
Harry did it. It wasn't me. Harry didn't scratch the table. What's your? Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Shirking a bit of responsibility, with alcohol is tempting. It's a tempting thing.
Yeah, it's fucking tempting. God, I'd drown myself.
Yeah. No, I understand that completely. I mean, I've quite a spicy relationship with alcohol myself.
I love a good spice.
My spicy relationship with alcohol. Yeah, so I feel what you're saying there.
I think it's relatable for a lot of
really
people,
relatable content for me. Yeah, and especially like, I've been a performer and a drama school student, whatever, so I'm quite about putting myself out there. I'm quite used to it. And even then, if I'm getting ready for a night out with friends, I'll have a couple of warm-up drinks, and be like, I remember times where I've been like, oh, I can't do this particular occasion unless I have a drink, I was talking about it on the episode we did with Ben Dean about that, saying that I always thought it was better on a drink, just like that was part of my narrative. But are you? Well, that's the question. Tell me, after 4 months sober, are you?
Do you know what I am? And it's I think, like I said before to you, like hang on, I've lost my train of thought.
Are you better without a drink?
I am. I bloody am. I am. It's just like there's just so much more to the world, and it's like I can feel my emotions, and I can feel even the pain, and even the sorrow, and even the grief. It's like I learn from it rather than just pushing it out all the time. And I mean, it's mad. Because I thought that I felt love, and I thought that I felt connections, and I thought that I felt empathy towards people when I was drunk. I thought that, you know when you go out and you're like, I love everyone.
Oh,
blah, blah.
yeah.
I will feel drunk, blah, blah. But it's like, it wasn't sincere. Like what I feel now is so sincere and so beautiful, and I feel it with my whole body. And I don't know. I think it sounds really hippie. I don't know.
Maybe it sounds great.
Maybe I'm a fucking hippie. I don't care.
It sounds wonderful.
Maybe I don't need to make a label for it, but it's just about self-love and giving yourself the time to really feel all your emotions.
The rich scale of it,
just,
this full spectrum.
And just the world just seems, it's just everything's so colourful, and you notice the smallest little things. Like obviously now it's autumn, we were talking about autumn earlier. It's just so stunning, and the world has so much to give, and people have so much to give. It's just I don't know. I just feel a lot of love recently.
That's good though. I mean, that's what we all want. We all want more love.
Oh my God, it's so great. It really is.
Yeah, so you're kind of getting the full spectrum of feelings, and the richness of the whole experience. The hit the whole fruit, some might say.
It's all just like coming back. It's like I'm relearning. Like I have to reparent myself, and I have to like learn skills that I haven't learned when growing up, because I just was pushing them back with alcohol so much that just everything's come in a wave, like the anger, the rage, the frustration, you know. But even those, I was scared of feeling. I was scared of feeling angry. I was scared of feeling like rage or frustration. But feeling them has just really taught me that I can actually manage them. And it's like, without alcohol, I can actually manage life. It's just, everything's just become a little bit softer.
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because you think, okay, so we're using alcohol to help us cope, to numb feelings or numb experience, or make experience a little bit more tolerable. And really what you find then through a journey of sobriety is that actually alcohol was making everything harder.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. It's just, you know, just the element of just waking up and feeling like shit because you got a hangover, and then you give yourself excuses to eat badly. Or you know, cancel on friends. I mean, if my friends listen to this, and I'm hoping that they do, I think they will. Like, you know, I cancelled on them so much because I couldn't control my alcoholism. I even though I had plans the next day, nothing was more important for me than having a drink. And then I would wake up, feel like shit, and then I feel more guilty because I'm breaking plans with them. And I'm like, I need my friends right now, but I can't because I'm drunk. Like it's like this ripple effect. And you know, I'm sorry to my friends, but now I just feel like making plans all the time, and I'm constantly filling up my days with wonderful things just so I can, you know, make more memories and try to push away that past. Yeah. You know?
Well, I mean,
being flaky and shit.
Yeah, but that's interesting because, like, so another friend of mine has recently gone on a journey of sobriety and decided to stop drinking for a bunch of reasons that are personal to her. Everybody's journey is personal and different. And I realised when I was talking to her how much I talk about alcohol, how much what I suggest and what I comment on is to do with alcohol. And I was like, this has a huge space in my life. And controlled or not controlled, or boundaried well or not boundaried well, it takes up a lot of space in my life. And yeah, all right, I'm a whiskey fan and I'm a wine fan. I'm a bit of a booze nerd, so I'm a little bit like hobbyist about it. But let's not joke. Yeah, let's not joke around. I've got, you know, it's because I like alcohol. I didn't get interested in whiskey because I don't like being drunk. I like being drunk. This is what I'm doing here. You know, it's like, oh, this is the tastiest way to get drunk. That's what I'm doing. And I realised, you know, so I'm sat with my friend and we're at this award ceremony chatting away, and I was like, oh, you know, and then we went down to this pub, and then we went down to this bar, and then everybody came around for drinks, and I was like, what do I do with my life? And it's only because I had her sober ears, knowing that the content might not have been quite so relatable to her after a year of sobriety, that I'm just the bar, the pub, the drinks, and this place does good cocktails, or this paired nicely with this one, this food that they do pairs really nicely with this, or we finished it with this booze thing, or this bottle of whatever. And I just thought, God, that is so much space. So I thought, when I thought about talking to you, I was like, I wonder how much space you found in your life after deciding you weren't going to drink anymore. Was there suddenly a big gulf where it was? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said before as well, like, it's just the culture as well, just going down the pub or drinks. It's like, everything is evolved around alcohol. Evolved around alcohol. It was like, I felt like I can do so much more. There was like, I'd plan, you know, like when you're drunk, you make plans to do something and then you don't do it because you're like, I don't know, drunk or like whatever, you just don't end up doing the plans. But yeah, like there's so much space now to do so many things because you wake up and you feel fresh. Yeah. And you're like, let's go and do this, and let's go to a museum and see some art, and everything that you've wanted to do for so long. That
you talked about doing, but like, I guess the alcohol stopped you getting around to it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So like, oh, come over and we'll do this, we'll play board games or whatever. But the drinks come out and everyone just gets smashed. so board games don't get played, perhaps. So
or they get boring after like a few minutes because
you're
drunk.
trying to read the card with the one eye shut like this. Oh,
yeah.
I've been there. Cards Against Humanity with one eye shut.
I love that game though. It's fucking savage.
Yeah, maybe that one is one for a few drinks, apart from reading the card.
Just at Christmas where you can just fuck up your family.
Oh my
them.
gosh, you can all get scarred for life at Christmas in a kind of controlled and healthy way with Cards Against Humanity.
There we go.
Gosh, or things like, I guess you get the hours of 9 a.m. till noon back.
Yeah.
You know, even at work, like productively. You know that
there's more time to think. There's more time to open your mind and just see things and see people and do things and relate to things. And I don't know, it's just, I can't really describe it other than it's fucking sick.
Is it a bit like
it's beautiful?
Is it a bit like it's been raining and now it's stopped? Is that how you feel? Like, you know, it's like it's raining and you can't go outside, you can't get anything done, and then it's kind of like gone,
like
and now everything's lovely.
Like a new season, like it's blooming. Like,
so I think there are a lot of conversations around sobriety. And people will talk about the benefits. You'll feel better, you'll lose weight, you'll save money.
Hearing that shit, like when I was like drinking.
This is where, exactly where I'm going. And we're kind of all sick of that message in a way. Like, I think people that drink are like, oh yeah, all right, whatever, I'm still gonna have a pint though, shut up.
Yeah.
You know, that message is kind of, it's not falling on deaf ears, but I don't think it's quite the right message for everybody, you know, because I think, well, firstly, when I first did a Sober October, so I'm in the middle of a Sober October now.
You've done it for a few years,
it's my third one. I do it every other year because every year feels like too much of a hardship. It's terrible. And you know what, actually, I knew I had to do it because when my partner suggested we do Sober October, I looked at him and went, fuck you. Literally my response was, fuck you. Oh, really?
You're putting me through stress.
Oh, great. No, you can do it. And then I was like, oh God, well, if that's my reaction, that's some kind of addiction talking. You know,
maybe
that
I should try it out.
Maybe put the bottle down, babe.
Yeah, maybe I should be more mindful about my drinking.
I decided
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good with it this time. So I'm I guess my third one, so I'm quite well practiced by this point. My first one was horrific. The first one was,
what was so horrifying about
I didn't realise how much of a drinking problem. Well, I guess a drinking problem. I didn't realise how much of a drinking problem I had. Yeah. I drank every day. Because I moved in with my housemate at gym and we had a great time. We were always having fun. Yeah. We were great friends. But we'd like a couple of glasses of wine with dinner, which seemed very normal. But we pretty much did that every day. And then on the weekend I'd drink properly. Proper binging out with my friends. And the behaviour didn't ring alarm bells. It was quite normal. Nobody sort of thought really, anything of it. It was very accepted. A bottle of wine with dinner. Sometimes a bottle of wine each with dinner. You know, like we'd watch a movie. Well, you know.
Yeah,
you have a half a bottle over dinner and then you have a second bottle. It doesn't feel like a lot. You know, and then sometimes we have friends over and that'd be a bit more, or we go over to friends and that we'd all get a few more drinks in. You know, on the weekends we'd really go for it, and Sunday would be a write off, completely dead to the world.
Even into Monday like
but
that.
I didn't really, when you're in the cycle you don't see the cycle, and that was the first time I broke the cycle. It was the longest I'd been completely without a drink since I was probably about 16 at that point. I don't think I'd gone really sober ever before. And maybe the drinking had escalated to daily over a slow period of time. It probably wasn't always that, but some friends of mine were like, oh, let's do Sober October, and I was like, yeah, okay, I don't see a problem with this. And then I was like, holy mackerel, this is serious. Wow.
When you put that in, like when you noticed that, like what kind of things did you put into place for yourself? Like did the realisation
really cross for a month?
So like did the realisation just kind of come, and then you were like, you know what, I'm so fucking angry with myself.
Oh, it was.
What did you do to sort of like make it different?
I guess overall I was pleased to discover it.
Right, because that's an incredible achievement anyway.
That was an eye-opener, and I feel lucky to have had my eyes open to just how much I was putting away. Creeps in. drop by drop.
It really fucking does,
Literally,
babe. It does.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, if you can admit that you have a problem, that's when you can start your journey and start, you know, making promises to yourself to keep.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And also, your shopping is cheaper, definitely. So that's a bonus. I was like, God, I'm saving so much money. And then you realise how much you were spending, though. You don't know how much you're spending till you remove it, and you're like, oh.
Babes, the amount of fucking money that I used to spend over the week, I can't even I can't put my brain to it. And it's like now I've got a few sort of bills and shit to pay from destructive times, but
of course,
you know, they're not overly incapable of paying, and like it's just madness how much I've been able to save. And now I just feel like, oh my God, like my future is so much brighter now that I actually have savings, and I'm not just dipping, like savings I'm talking about, like I've got about £100 savings, like it's not like something extravagant.
Oh yeah, but still, like,
but I mean, fucking hell, I've got something there, you know?
Rather than minus money.
Yeah, because I've gone out on the fucking piss.
Oh God, and you make stupid decisions after alcohol, and then you go, I'm gonna buy a round of shots for these 12 people I've just met.
Okay, everyone have one in the pub.
Oh yeah, and then you've done that, you've spent it all. So I noticed that was good. And then it was about 3 weeks. Actually, I'll cycle back to why that's significant in a minute. But it was about 3 weeks. And then I got into the swing of it. The first 3 weeks were hell. Yeah. I just missed it. I was upset not to have wine. I was really uncomfortable without it. Also, I couldn't drink beer. I was allergic to beer for a long time. And so I couldn't have zero alcohol beer. Okay. So there were no good zero alcohol options. So then I was trying to go out with my friends and I was drinking Coke, and I never drink sweet things anyway. So that was wrong. That felt wrong. Or juice. Or I was having virgin Bloody Marys, which are quite tasty, but then they're quite thick. Yeah. So then you have two of those and you're like, you know. So I felt very displaced, which is something that I learned by the second time I did Sober October. My beer allergy went away, strangely enough. But then because I could have fake beer, I didn't have to disrupt my behaviour. That made it possible. That really opened it up. So now I can have a Beck's Blue or a Heineken 00.
And still feel like you're part of the crowd.
And nobody's looking at me going, what we're drinking? Is that just Coke? You know, because that's the other thing you get. Is people react to you weird when you're not
have
drinking.
A bit of a judgment. And it's like, also like, why don't you just have a drink? Come on now.
Have a drink. Oh, come on. No one will know. I get this because it's Sober October as well, because I'm doing it for charity. People are going, but who's going to know though? No one will know. Just have one. I won't tell anyone. And I'm like,
to sobriety as well is tell the fucking truth. Tell the truth, because you're not, if you do slip up or whatever, it's not, you're lying to yourself if you don't tell the truth. You know, it's not, it's tell the truth.
Be true. Well, tell yourself the truth. My
friends have actually been really fucking amazing though. Like every single one of them, even my family members. I'd never ever thought that, you know, I would have like 100% backing with everyone. All my friends, even people have been like, "Oh, is it alright if I have a drink?" I'm like, "Oh my God, babe, have a drink with your meal. It's fine." Why would I ever
tell you not
to? Like, I'm going to I went to bar, I've been to a cocktail night and not had a drink, I've been to a party, I've been to like a dinner where pretty much all my rave friends existed in one place and they were all drinking, you know, and that was just, it was beautiful to just be able to go, right, see you later guys, I've had a really nice meal, but I'm going I'm heading home now.
Check it out.
I'm going to take a bit of cake, because before I wouldn't be, because I'd be too pissed to bloody take a bit of cake home. They've been really amazing. Thank you guys.
That's an interesting thing actually I wanted to ask, was about that, like you know, how people react to it, really, you know, I guess, because when I did
such an amazing reception.
That's so good, because
I just feel so lucky, babe. I feel so lucky, like it's just been amazing.
I think like people often meet this topic with their own feelings about it in a kind of confrontational moment where they kind of go, this is true of when I first did Sober October, my housemate Jim was like, well, what are you doing that for? Like, and it's like, well, hang on, I'm not telling you can't have a drink.
It's
like,
just me, it's my life.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but a lot of people kind of do that. They're like, oh, well, I don't know, you wouldn't catch me doing that. It's like, well, I wasn't asking you to.
Oh, I love that.
But I think if you react like that, much like when some said to me, do Sober October, and I was like, fuck off.
Oh, piss off. Yeah.
You should listen to yourself. If you find yourself reacting to sober people like that, I think definitely you want to have a little look at your relationship with alcohol, because obviously something in that is making you feel a bit threatened if someone's taking it away from you,
defensive.
or somebody taking it away from themselves, and that's an option. It makes you feel a bit defensive. You might want to just have a little look into that. Just give it a little poke.
Yeah, be like,
you know,
excuse me, what's that
try
about?
a sober month. Oh,
yeah.
And I said about that 3 weeks thing, and I said I was going to cycle back to it, and I didn't. So apparently I heard that when you go for alcohol rehab, they say you have a wet brain for 3 weeks. So they don't really start doing like a lot of heavy,
What's a wet brain?
heavy work. Basically, the effects of alcohol still kind of happening.
Oh, right,
for 3 weeks after up to your last drink.
Oh, for sure.
It takes about 3 weeks for your kind of everything to kind of clear up. And I wondered, well, not I wondered, but I felt that the first sober month I did, week 3, suddenly I was like, okay, cool.
Actually,
I'm all right. I could carry this on.
Now.
I feel all right now, you know, and suddenly I'm not sad and missing it and weird and, you know, and so on. Yeah. But I do think there's a ritualistic element that gets in the way. Like I said, I couldn't have fake beer, so I felt very displaced. And every time I've been sober since, I could, you know, have a beer or do a kind of an assimilation. Yeah, they taste good. I can't drink sweet things, so, you know, and you can't drink 3 cups of coffee on a night out. You make you feel bad, and
get off, you're not.
Yeah.
That's always what I'm saying. Like, everyone's like, why are you so hyper? I'm like, I'm off my fucking nut on coffee, mate. Like, I've had like
you've had a 1 and I've had 3 espressos.
I've had
3 of them. Like screaming, crying, a little brown stain around your mouth from all the coffee.
Smelling like an old teacher and like coffee forever. I've had 3.
You don't know what it's like. I feel like I'm going up in a lift and I'm just sat here.
It's so much better than alcohol.
Oh my gosh, wow. I think there is definitely a point where you become, when you try sobriety, that like, the initial bumpy bit, you have to kind of buckle down. The same with giving up smoking, isn't it? They reckon a week or 2 weeks or a month.
I gave up that at the same time as I gave up alcohol. I literally just went completely and utterly clean living. Like, I was literally like, no,
wow,
fuck that shit.
I think smoking's a tricky one because it pairs so nicely with booze. So I guess if you're kicking booze, then
I was like, do you know what? I think I had maybe 1 or 2. I think I've had 1 or 2 or 2s or something within the 4 months. Yeah, you know, it's not a dalliance.
Had a dalliance with a cigarette.
Just like, so I fancy one of those today. Oh god. But you know, there is a place called CGL. It's Change, Grow, Live. It's actually a place within the UK. I actually thought it was just within my borough in Waltham Forest. Yeah, but it's actually within the UK.
Oh, wonderful.
It's a free service on the NHS, and it's self-referral as
Lovely.
well. So you literally I needed help. I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. I just got free rehabs up on Google. Yeah, it's like, right, I need to do something about this. This is terrible. This is how much I'm drinking. Blah blah blah. And they got back to me in 2 weeks. And I was there having an assessment with
That's
a key
amazing.
worker. And the thing is, they help out with not only rehabilitation, they do tapering, you know, like with subtext
harder drugs.
They have an illegal. They have legal advice there. They have housing advice. It's literally like a little community centre.
That's wonderful.
And they've been so incredible. Like, guys, if you're listening and you're having problems, please reach out to them. They're like just amazing.
Shout out CGL.
CGL, Change, Grow, Live. Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So so when you decided to go sober, did you have a turning point moment where you were like, that's enough, that's far enough, and then did you go straight to CGL and kind of
I'd already
put all
been
that into place?
3 weeks sober before I started going.
Yeah.
Because I was like, because I'd reached out a week after I was sober. I think it was a week, or it was on the weekend of the week, of the being sober, that I messaged them, and that's when I started going. Yeah, and then I started going 3 weeks after. So I'd done a period of abstinence before that.
Yeah.
But I just knew for a fact that I would need more help and more support because it weren't going to be easy. And I've learned throughout my life that asking for help isn't a bad thing, and that if I've accepted that I've got a problem, then I've got to fucking do something about it. Yeah. And it takes a lot of willpower to do that, and I'm not sure where it's come from. Please don't ask me for tips and advice, because I have fucking no clue how I done it. I got out of a really, really awful relationship, and I needed to change myself. I needed to do something to really help myself and not stay in this pit of doom. Yeah.
That's
it was
amazing.
just...
I mean, that's amazing that you just, like, it happened for you. And I think it
does
does
fucking
happen.
The world gave it to me. Like sometimes there's signs, and I don't know if you believe in signs or if anyone else believes in signs, but I think that it just happened. It just fell into place.
I mean, of course it does come from inside you. Of course, it's you that decided to make the change for you.
Yeah, of course.
And I guess that light bulb moment doesn't have to be something dramatic like nearly getting hit by a car, but maybe the change in situation, maybe seeing what was wrong in that relationship and pulling yourself away from that, and then kind of giving yourself that little bit of love to come away from that opened up the doorway to a lot more love for yourself, to say, actually, I need a bit of support, I need a bit more for me.
Yeah, it is. You've got to think about yourself, and it's not selfish. And even the word selfish isn't a bad thing. No. Self-care is extremely important. It's something that we all really need to start learning from a young age, I think. I think it needs to be drilled into us. It needs to be, we need skills to learn to manage and cope with distress. And there's just not enough of that.
100%,
when we grow up,
100%, especially where we grew up.
I know, we bloody deserve it. Like, you deserve it, I deserve it. Like, love is really fucking important, and especially for yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. But I think
so important.
I think it's great that you kind of found a way without finding a way, in a way, like when you said just then, I don't know how I did it, but you did.
In rock bottom, babe. I don't believe that there is, I don't believe in rock bottom. I believe that life is always going to be fucking difficult at times, and you've just got to take it as a learning experience throughout your good parts and your bad parts. It's just how you see it, really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all about the learning, isn't it?
It's just about learning. You've got to learn and understand things,
I love your East End barmaid voice that you're doing there.
That's my fucking cat voice, babe.
Is that you talk to cats voice. Like you're an East End barmaid?
Yeah. Do I sound like East
That's what it sounds. Oh, don't you just
little old lady?
You gotta listen. You gotta give yourself love. You gotta hold your own hand.
Oh my god! Yeah, sometimes I don't even realise how I'm chatting. So bloody hell.
Oh, I love the cat voice. I'm gonna talk to cats like I'm an East End barmaid.
Yeah, bloody do it.
Tiddles. Why you come round here, did you?
You were right there, babes.
I love it. I talk to dogs with a really weird voice. I go, hello, buddy.
Oh, that is cute.
I can't help it. I'm always getting caught by the dog's owners. I'm having a full conversation with the dog, and then I look up, the owners are just looking at me like, where did you come from, crazy blue hair lady? You need to get away from my animal.
Get away now. Just a stare.
His name's not Buddy. His name is D'Artagnan.
His name is not Good Boy.
She is not a good boy.
Oh, baby.
I completely digress there.
It's alright. I love cats and dogs, so
we're just going to go off on a few tangents. I think everyone needs to accept this is going to be one of those tangent-filled conversations.
Especially with us, babes.
Oh, man. So where were we? We were rehab. We were CGL, kind of Change Grow Live support. We're in support.
Yeah, we're in support. Okay, so let me explain the Change Grow Live of the aspect of
I think it could help a lot of people.
Okay, so all right, so change is within rehab, it's a group. So there's a group of people in Change Element, which is where you are still using, that means drugs or alcohol, and you're learning skills in ways to combat that or sustain abstinence. Okay, so once you've sustained abstinence a little bit, you progress into the grow group, right, which is you're still abstaining, but you may have relapsed or you may feel like you're going to. And then the life group is where you've been abstinent for a certain period of time, and they teach you how to progress in life without drugs and alcohol. So it's like you kind of go in stages there. I'm in life group at the moment. I actually went straight into life group because I sustained for a certain amount of time. And the key worker yesterday actually put me forward for peer mentoring. And I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really proud of myself. And I love talking to people, and I love helping people, and I love everything about people. And I am really excited to be able to give back to the place that's really supported and helped me, and also so I can help other people with their journey.
Your experience counts for so much because you've been through it. So and I'm hoping, even if it's just one person helping with their journey in sobriety, then I'll be fucking glad. I'll be well glad. And I'm going to be doing it with a really lovely girl named Eva. I love that name, Eva. She decided to write a really honest post on Facebook about her drug and alcohol use, and she's been a friend of mine from when I was very young, but it was because I was friends with her older sister, so I wasn't really we didn't have a friendship, but I knew of her, sorry to talk about you, Eva. Hi. So she wrote a really honest post, and she started a movement called Mental Health Liberation. So she started a group on Facebook. I have become part of that group, and she just helped me so much with just opening up and becoming transparent, having vulnerability, and really talking about why I wanted to do this. And we're both going to be doing peer mentoring training together. That's so we fantastic. Can just, it's so nice to have someone doing on the same path as you. Yeah, of course.
And I think that we can make a really big difference at CGL. It's very drippy and drabby in there at the moment. And I think that it'd be nice to have a bit of us sprucing things up. We're young and proud, and we just want to,
creative.
Make things, nicer for people there.
Absolutely.
I think we have the same kind of thought process in what we want to do, so I hope that she feels the same.
It's really interesting you said that her transparency helped you. That's interesting, because I think there's so much of ourselves that we keep secret for shame.
I used to be such a secretive person. Everything was so undercover. No one knew anything about what shit that I used to do to self-destruct. And I think being open and honest about it really helps people relate and helps them share too. And just voicing it and having a voice and being heard and acknowledged is so important in your life. It's just more than important.
So if you're struggling with substance addiction of any kind, or if you're not even sure if you're struggling with it or not, maybe having conversations around it will be surprising and helpful. I mean, it's just, oh my god, just everything. Join a group, join a group, go to check it out. Even just going to CGL and not even feeling like you can
come off of drugs or alcohol or like start being sober. Like, even if you just feel like you need a support surrounding that, go and talk to them, go and talk to other people that are from a variety of different backgrounds and different ages, and hear their story, and it really impacts you listening to other stories as well.
It does, actually. It really does. You can learn a lot. Before you go down a certain road, you can learn from some of the roads other people have been down.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's what's important. You know.
But also, like when you said that all your friends have been so supportive and your family's been so supportive, it seems like people's reactions can surprise you in such a nice way. Yeah. So perhaps if you're concerned about your behaviours or your use of a substance or misuse of a substance, sometimes opening up to a friend or, you know, relative could be positive and surprising. Was that me? Sif,
was that me? You or me?
Do you know I'm terrible for this? It's always my phone on the podcast going off. I'm gonna
mine's just always on silent, babe.
Mine is always
I
on
never
silent.
pick up phone calls.
What is this?
What's
Silence,
going on?
Silence.
Maybe it's the GoPro again.
I don't know what. I've been rumbled again for
bloody hell.
Well, you know what trips me up is it's always on silent, and then I have a podcast, and then I think, the so and so guest is going to ring me, and they don't know where they're coming. I'll put my ringer on for the first time this month, or whatever. Then halfway through the podcast, it's like ding-a-ling-a-ling ding. Hey, asshole. I want to talk to you. hey, asshole. You left your ringer on. I'm like, oh, it's me. Cool. I'm very professional. I'm a professional lady.
It's okay. It's a bloody phone.
I'll just swing this back around to what I was saying. Your friends and family can surprise you. No, but honestly, people's reactions can definitely surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, and you're always going to be anxious about that. Yeah. Like how people are going to react. But you've got to remember that, like, not everyone is so judgmental. Yeah. What you think about, what you, like, your thoughts aren't facts. Like, the things that you think that may happen, like 99% of the time don't actually happen, you know? Yeah.
I think also, like, people's reactions often say more about where they're at than where you're at. Yeah. So I think that's also important, that you kind of get het up about the conversation that you're going to have with somebody. Like, you imagine what they're going to say, and you do all that. And then when you have the conversation with them, firstly, their reaction is probably one that you didn't expect at all. It's like one that didn't even appear on the list of 6 reactions you were expecting. It's something else completely different. And you're like, oh crap, I prepared for all these other reactions, but I didn't prepare for this. And then secondly, their reaction isn't your responsibility.
Yeah, it's not your
problem. If you've gone to somebody and said, I would like help, or I would like guidance, or I think I have something going on, or I need to be honest about this, and they shit on you, that's shitty them. That's not shitty you. Yeah, you know. So in fear of having those kind of bad reactions from people, it will teach you about those people more than it will, more than about the situation you're taking to them.
And everyone has their own problems, so them having that kind of reaction, you've got to remember that it's not anything to do with you. It's about how they feel.
So if you've opened up to somebody in the past and you've had a bad experience, what I'm getting at is don't rule out opening up to people.
Yeah,
don't rule out conversation.
Yeah, you still get your voice heard and be bloody loud about it. Yeah. Be loud about it. Don't stay in silent. You know, a lot of people have the same problems or can even relate, maybe not understand, but can just generally show support. And sometimes, you don't want sympathy, you don't want advice, you just want someone to listen to you and acknowledge you. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big thing that I've learned, is that not to go straight to advice. No. And try to go, this is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't do. It's just about taking a step back and being like, actually, this person, it's a problem for them. Yeah. So I need to listen. And if they've come to confide in me, then I need to listen. But there's a lot of people out there like that, so don't ever stay silent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do fucking talk about it.
And, advice for people that have somebody in their lives coming to them, or that maybe will come to them at some point for this moment of like opening up and honesty. The clue is in the title. When you say be there for them, that's the beginning and the end of it. Be there for them. Don't be there for you.
Yeah, don't think that you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah, or put your experience, your judgments on them.
Yeah, or first, or be like, oh, I'm going to listen
or
to
I've been through this, so I'm going to advise you on what worked for me. It's like, be there for them. Just be with them. That's all that is. And that's all you need to do. People say like, oh, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do.
You don't have to say anything.
You just be with them. Be there in that space for them.
Yeah, and be normal. Simple. Just be normal. Just be like, well, like, what should we do? Should we go out and go for a coffee, or like, should we go into the cinema instead? Like, what can we do? Like, how do you feel? Like, what do you want to do?
Have a conversation.
Yeah, just have a convo. Don't be worried or scared for them and be like, and shocked about their behaviour. Just be like, okay, if that's how you feel, like, I can support you. Be
an ally. Be a friend.
Yeah.
Be with them.
Be a friend.
And don't be afraid of what their discovery tells you about your feelings or experiences and stuff as well. And if you feel like when your friend says, oh, I've got a drink problem, if you feel threatened by that in some way, maybe have a little poke around in your alcohol.
Do I need to get my landlord, like my bar?
Do you want my voice?
What are you talking about?
Have a little think about who you are inside.
Just listen to nature.
I love it. I love it.
Lord.
I love it. I'm going to be thinking of that voice now when I'm doing stuff in my life.
I'm on a cat group and I make cat videos talking like that, and man, people that make videos back to me. Oh God,
is this what you do to fill the gap?
Yeah. I go on Facebook. I look at loads of cat pictures and I save them to my phone. I save other people's cats photos to my phone.
Sophie, I think you have a really serious problem. I'm really glad you've come to share it with me today.
I thought I would be transparent.
How long have you been addicted to cats?
I don't want to say.
I don't recall.
Don't know.
Oh man, but no, I'm sure like that. Cats are great anyway, aren't they? I mean, I'm sure we're all guilty of.
My babies have helped me through a lot of things.
I like to look at funny cats when I'm on a hangover. That was a big thing for me. Lol cats on a hangover.
Yeah, or dogs. Like big, fluffy, bloody, just want to
gentle,
give them
cuddly, innocent, sweet things, that stops you thinking about what you may have said or done the night before. The horrors, that feeling the next day.
The dread.
And also the guilt of like, how badly have I damaged myself this weekend? And I just look...
And then you get like heart palpitations. Like there's always that physical element as well. I used to suffer with migraines anyway, but alcohol was a massive fucking trigger for my migraines. Yeah. And I would be puking from the time that I got home to like 6 p.m. in the evenings. I would not be able to move. My head would be in the toilet.
Man, that's so rough.
I would become dehydrated because I couldn't keep anything in, so my body would like feel shriveled. I wouldn't feel right for a week.
Yeah,
like there's just a 3 or 4 day bender, and then you're feeling like shit, but then you just drink over it. Yeah. And then you're puking again, and it's horrifying.
Oh, man.
The physical effects of alcohol are destroying.
Such a cycle. Such an awful cycle.
Oh, God.
I mean, when I was at my worst sort of alcohol behaviours, it would be kind of like, 2 big nights. Friday, Saturday night, big nights. Yeah. 7 a.m. finishes. Defo.
Yeah.
On the bounce, 2 on the bounce. Sunday, write that off, full of anxiety, full of horrors, closed curtains and Haribo.
Oh God, I don't fucking miss it.
No, it's awful. So Sunday's a burn. Monday, groggy as you like, just groggy as you like. Going to work, can't walk very fast, feeling
that's why
really.
People don't like Mondays because everyone goes on a fucking binge on the weekend. Yeah,
it's not Monday, it's the problem. It's Saturday night.
Yeah, it's just Friday night.
And then by Wednesday, I'm feeling like good.
Yeah,
I'm feeling better.
Thursday, babe.
And then Thursday's the new Friday.
Yes,
and the cycle begins again. So
even before the rock clubs and that, they used to do Wednesdays like Nassing on Wednesday.
Nassing, happy days.
Friday would be
Thursday
ballroom.
Would be Rocket, Friday would be ballroom.
So it's like
rock,
everyone on it.
Saturday at the Dome. Oh, happy days.
That's where we met at ballroom.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I feel a bit like my alcohol behaviour was pretty, in check in those days when I was sort of about 18, 19. I had a much better grasp on it. It was my late 20s when I derailed. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty sensible as a teen, and also funds dictated. I didn't have the money to go crazy.
Yeah.
I never did the old white ace thing. We clump together and get a bottle of vodka. So I'd probably drink about a third of a bottle of vodka before I go out.
I loved a bit of white ace. I did.
I never got into it. It's too sweet for me. That's what has probably saved me from alcohol. That level was I didn't like sweet stuff. So everyone wants a alcohol pops, and I'd be like, no thanks. Or if I had it sweet, it needed to be like kind of complex, like rum spicy, rum and ginger, something a bit complex. I couldn't just do a sugar fest. I couldn't do a Smirnoff Ice.
Bacardi
Breezers, yeah, and they were expensive anyway. So yeah, we tended to get a bottle of vodka, drink about a third of a bottle of vodka, and then go out. And then I probably only had enough money for like 2 drinks in the club anyway. Yeah. So, and then I'd have water, and then I'd have something to eat on the way home. And it was quite sort of...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was sensible.
You were sensible.
Yeah, about 18, 19 I was. And then I got into dancing. So I danced at clubs, which was a completely different... Yeah, no, we'd have a rider, but it wouldn't be too crazy. It'd be 4 of us dancing and a litre of vodka between 4 of us. And you'd be dancing all night. So it's very different. Yeah. You can't drink as much. You're sweating like crazy anyway, and then you're starving at the end, and it's work. Yeah. So it changed how I interacted with clubbing and going out and stuff. And it was basically at the end of when I'd been a full-time performer, fire and stilts and stuff, and it was towards the end of that my drinking problem sort of became a thing, because then I was I was working a 9 to 5 suddenly, which was like great, and so then I'm having wine at home in the evening with my lovely housemates. Happy days. And then I've got weekends back because I used to work weekends and perform, and then it was like, oh, actually I can just go out and go crazy. And then I had other stuff in my life going on that kind of I wanted to deaf out or I couldn't face. So that was a quiet hum underneath it that slowly took over. The things in my life I wanted to deaf out, the kind of more ferocious my drinking got. And I've always been able to drink. Like, I've got a tolerance for it. Yeah. And when you're not sloppy drunk, nobody ever in my life has ever said you've had enough. Yeah. You've had too much, you need to go home. That happened once, because my best friend used to run a bar, and she could see I was sad. Oh. It wasn't because I was drunk. It's because she recognised I was heartbroken. Yeah. She's like, mate, you're drinking because you're sad. Go home, man. Just have some chicken and go home. Go next door, get a chicken and chips and go and eat in your bed and cry. Just do
get
that.
A Mackie D's.
Just go to bed. Go to bed.
Yeah, I feel like I can relate to that as well, because I've always been that sort of like mum drunk, as in like everyone else gets fucked up around me and I'll be the one looking after everyone,
Yeah, and you're getting away with it. You're flying under the radar.
I'm going home and I'm down in still drinking,
pounding another bottle of wine,
Oh, vodka more like. God. Oof. Oh God, and the fucking vodka that I used to get through. No, people didn't notice.
That's the thing.
I actually, thinking about it, I did have a friend. I was 19 and I had a close male friend actually take me to one side, and this was after I had a bereavement, so this was when I was like drinking bottles of white ace and finding myself waking up in bushes. He did actually say to me, I think I'd done like a month or 2 so sober for him, because he really made me realise. He was like, Sophie, your drinking it, like, you're going to kill yourself. Like, I don't want to see you go down that path. And I really took it to heart, and I really thanked him for it. And I was really like, this is so important, like for someone to tell me that. Like, it's just, I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed that, because I thought that I was being so secretive about it. I thought that like I was getting away with it, like you're saying. I think that, but he did actually realise, and I did try to do it, but obviously I went back to drinking after. Yeah. But it's just important to actually recognise that when your friends do come to you and say those kinds of things, to really actually take consideration.
Yeah, they've been very brave to do
and
that
not
for
to
you.
push them away and be like they're being fucking wankers, or I'm not gonna, change. I'm not gonna change myself for them or whatever. And it's like, no, make the changes for you. If one of my friends ever told me that I was doing something wrong, or like I had a problem, I would take that into consideration and try to make changes.
It's like they've come here and been brave for you, and now you need to be brave for yourself.
You need to fucking
that's the story. They've not come here to be a dick to you and tell you off. They've been brave. They've gambled that moment and said, she is going to blow up in my face and tell me to get stuffed. But I feel the need that I want to be the person to not stay silent and say, I think your behaviour is damaging and sad for you, whatever.
I think that's really massive. It's really brave to do
brave.
that.
It's brave, and
thank him
when somebody does that for you, give them the respect of being a little bit brave for yourself and investigate what they've told you. Yeah. Now, they might be wrong.
Don't just shun it out. Actually have a think about it.
Investigate it yourself. Yeah. Do due diligence, have a little poke around and see what that is and why might they have said that, and what in your behaviour might have made them feel like that, and is it true or isn't it true, and if it isn't true, then what is that behaviour and why did it make them think that, and where did that come from? A little bit of Sherlock Holmes thyself.
Exactly. Don't just push your bloody friends away and say that you ain't got a problem. Really think about it.
Really consider it, and then don't be ashamed if you consider it and think,
if they're your friends, don't
carry
take
shame
it
about
personally.
it.
Just fucking be like, okay, shit, I must have done something wrong.
They'll be glad to hold your hand if they're real friends. They'll be glad to be able to come. If you let somebody be there for you, people that love you will be glad to do it. They'll be glad to be there for you.
Yeah, but people are great. People can be really
They can be great. They can be great and they can surprise you. And it's always worth having a little gamble on that. Yeah. Have a little flutter and see if somebody surprises you. Definitely. So what kind of, if you've got a newly sober friend out there, as a newly sober person, what would you suggest that you can do to encourage that person, but also like activities and things that, kind of work, or...
I mean, I guess it depends on the person, but for me, I've been seeing my friends that have children quite a lot.
Because it's easier to deal with kids when you don't have a hangover.
Yeah, and it's easier to deal with kids when you're not drinking around them, because when you...
that's dangerous.
Yeah, there's kids and, you do like fun things with them and you don't want to be drunk while doing that. Yeah. Been doing ceramics.
Nice.
And art.
Crafts
is a really fucking
with a
thing.
Capital craft.
Yeah, because you don't bloody go to a craft shop and drink. So it's like, it's nice to just take that whole element and flip it upside down. Going for dinner's good. I love food.
Yeah,
food is a good one. Cinema's a
good one. Yeah,
there's, again, you're not being served alcohol.
Yeah.
I think some cinemas actually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, food, cinema, even just like PJ days. I love naps.
Duvets and 80s movies.
Yeah, and just snacks. Like just chill out. Just have a chill day.
Do other things.
Arty things.
Arty things are great. Museums are good. Walks good. Yeah. I think
love good welcome collection.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about when you spend time with your sober friends, and I was thinking actually that's quite liberating for me, because I'm like, all the things that I kind of want to do that are a bit unusual, your sober friend is probably the one person who'll go, yeah, I'll go to this weird museum with you, or I'll go to this weird lecture,
I'll go to the pathology museum and see all the wet specimens with you.
Oh, yes, please.
I'll do that.
But yeah, I mean, obviously your friends that drink will do some of that stuff with you, but I think when I think about my sober friends, I think, God, they're quite keen just to do stuff.
Yeah.
There's kind of a tenacity
fill your
about...
bloody days with loads of different things.
Yeah, because there's a lot more space for everything else when you're not drinking and thinking about booze all the time.
Go protesting.
Yeah.
Go to Extinction Rebellion. Woohoo.
Yeah,
go fight for the world and climate change.
Fight for your future, yeah.
Yeah, and for the kiddies' future too.
For the kiddies' future. I'm very in tune with the old kiddies' future. Yeah. I'm here with my reusable bits and bobs. Just like,
I know, I love them.
I
absolutely love them. It's like having little nose arounds when Mum was here. It's like, I've spotted your stuff on your from your website. Can I please have a look?
Can I see the things?
Oh, what is this? A loafer?
What is loofah?
Oh, what is this? Where does it come? I remember some proper questioning it. Like, where's it come? Is it
from the sea, or is it from the... And I'm like, do you know what, dude?
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you in a comfortable position.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying my best here. This is, because this little bracket of stuff, Punk Rock Health, is me just trying to do my version of health,
excellent.
you know. Thank you. That's kind of you. Thanks, man. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Proud of you too.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing. You grabbed it, you know, you grabbed your life by the steering wheel and you said, this is how I'm driving now.
Yeah.
You're
got
not
to
letting
do that shit, man. I ain't got to put your boundaries in place.
Boundaries are essential.
And I did not have any of them. I don't think well, if I didn't even, I might have had a few, but no. But I certainly have some now.
Yeah, boundaries are crucial. They're a crucial part of self-love.
Definitely.
I'm always preaching boundaries. I'm always like,
oh my God,
know your boundaries and enforce
how to say
them.
yes, how to say no, and how to be informed about if someone does say yes or no to you, because like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, how to also respect other
God.
people's boundaries, or how to engage with other people's boundaries. That's a kind of, you know, that's
which you don't really have when you're drunk.
Oh my God, no. Boundaries is the thing. We're all delighted they go out the window to a point, and then you're like, I can't believe you just vomited in my shoe, and it's like, yeah, well, we were doing away with boundaries tonight, weren't we? I mean, that's what we're all doing here. Alcohol is a very strange mistress.
It is.
And to be enjoyed responsibly.
Yeah, and mindfully.
That's
mindful drinking is very, you know, something that needs to be practiced more often.
I've fallen in love with that. Instead of drink responsibly, drink mindfully.
Yeah. Be mindful of your intake. Be mindful of, you know, what it's doing to your body. But,
and
you know,
the reasons why you're putting it in.
Yeah.
Be mindful of that.
Conscious. Be very conscious of it. You know?
Be present.
Yeah, stay in the fucking moment. Don't go ahead and just down your sorrows. Like, really focus on what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's part of the joy of you know, being human and having such complex emotions and such complex language to describe and interact with them.
Yeah.
Don't just drink it and just be sad. You know,
you can do a lot with the way that you feel. You can make impacts on the world and on other people by being yourself, and
give yourself the chance to
give yourself a pat on the back every now and again. Go cuddle some doggy.
Go and find a stray cat and fuss it and tell it your truth.
Tell the truth.
Give Tiddles your truth. Well, Mr. Pussycat.
They all listen, don't they? So
yeah, I always feel
back.
I always feel like when I see an octopus at the Sea Life Centre or something like that, they know my feelings better than myself. It's like a weird thing I've got with octopus. I
did notice quite a few octopus about
the house. So look, I've got tentacles on my fingers, like I'm cut ways. Yeah, I've
they're
got
beautiful creatures.
Little tiny one that hides in my bosom. He's called LeBron.
And I was looking at your boobies quite a lot, but I think it was just because I was looking at your octopus.
My little guardian, and the LeBron, guardian of the claviage. Yeah,
he's gorgeous.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I'm covered in octopus, but yeah, they're like on the list of animals I won't eat.
Oh no, no, none of that. To be honest, it's quite a strange texture. Anyway,
yeah,
it can be either very very squidgy, like very like soft and weird, or just chewy.
Yeah, very
What is
rubbery.
The point? They're so beautiful.
They're delicious.
They're
so delicious. But I won't
oh
eat
my
them.
God, babe.
I won't eat them. But I like the seafood. I like the seafood. Somebody told me the other day that when you eat an oyster, it's still alive, and I was like, and.
Oh, I do. Do you know what? I do like oysters.
I'm a monster.
Really like, oh, babies.
I'm cruel.
I've really changed my outlook in ways that I eat as well with being sober. Yeah. Like I don't feel like fuck it, I'm just gonna have this.
Yeah,
I'm really quite conscious with that.
Yeah,
I feel really upset if I eat sea creature now.
Yeah,
I can't bring myself to eat fish. I love them. I keep tropical fish myself as well, and I think of my little maki and teriyaki in my in my tank, and I'm like, oh God, I can't do it.
Think about what you've called them.
I know.
It's like keeping pigs and calling one roast dinner.
Sausage.
Come here, sausage. Come here, bacon.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. Oh, listen.
I know, but still,
babies.
it's like, Oh,
my
man.
baby.
Do you know what though? I know, and like we're all on these journeys, and we're all on these kind of self-improvement journeys, or better journeys, or journeys of self-discovery. And I feel like when I listen back to these podcasts, these early ones, in a year or so's time, I'll be like, I can't believe I sat there and brazenly went, I just eat all the sea, you know, I just eat all the fishies, because they're delicious. Well, I know, I feel that change coming, you know, because I feel differently about meat and animal products. The more you look into the planet and stuff, I mean, I don't think I'll ever full vegan swing, but I appreciate elements of veganism, but I also appreciate elements of like whole food and paleo stuff. So I walk a fine line between, you know, things ethically and also for my health, you know, I make decisions for my health, and I don't want to eat stuff that's too processed and so on, kind of thing. So
we
fish
just all need to be more conscious.
It's consciousness and mindfulness, but I think, you know, at some point on that journey I'll probably be like, oh, I can't believe I said I did this, or I can't believe I used to do that, or I can't believe
we all
you know, and I'm a bit like that about how my drinking used to be. Like, I can't believe I just thought it was acceptable to put that much booze away. I remember thinking...
I'm glad that you're feeling this way. I really am.
Well, I mean, like, I don't think... I mean...
Because you can start to make changes in your life with alcohol now that you seem a little bit more...
Well, I have been making... Since my first sober October, I've been on a journey admitting that I had... something like some kind of drinking problem, maybe not mad severe, but I definitely had some kind of problem.
If there's a problem in your life, it's a problem, isn't it?
You know, and also looking at why I drank and changing that and making myself happier and going through counselling and some therapy about some things that I was trying to drink to not feel. I used to joke with my friends, and many of them will remember me saying this on a night out. It's like, I'm going to drink till I can't feel feelings anymore. Woo! And that was what I was going for.
Blackout.
I wasn't fucking joking. I was serious. I was going to drink until I couldn't feel my feelings anymore. And
why should you suppress them? You know,
so they're telling you something.
They're being that painful, so you fucking recognise them.
I had to pay a counsellor hundreds of pounds to tell me not to tell me, but to help me discover what my feelings were trying to tell me all along.
Yeah,
I was spending money to silence something, to then spend money to pay someone else to tell me. Like when you look at it, you're like, holy moly, if I just been like, I'm sad, I'll deal with that, rather than I'm sad, I'm going to vodka this. I know, of course. This is what I'm saying. I've been on this journey since my first sober month. And these sober months are nice little milestones for me where I say, okay, this is 2 years since I was sober last time. How am I coping? And this time I'm finding it very easy because my life is in order. Yeah. So my drinking lately has not been pain drinking, which means it's a lot easier to stop doing. Yeah. Which is a shocker.
Actually, I'm going to call it a bloody night tonight, and I'm going to go home at an appropriate time because I want to wake up in the morning.
Exactly, and like me and my other half have been like, because we like to party. Yeah. We are silly people. We like to be silly party all night people because we love our friends and we get all excited and then you're drinking and you overshoot it with alcohol and then you can't see where the line is anymore because you can't see anything.
Yeah,
you drank so much. And then we wake up in the morning, we feel terrible, we feel guilty, and we feel like we've damaged ourselves and so on and so forth. And having this sober month, we both really look forward to it because we were like, this is gonna be really nice for us to gain some perspective on where the line is. Also drop our tolerance a little bit and come back to drinking a little fresh and a little more mindful. Whereas, so that's great for this sober month. It's quite easy to do that. And I've been to a couple of parties and had fake beers and assimilated with my fake drinks, and nobody's known that I'm not drinking. So I could act silly and nobody's like, oh, but you're not even drinking. So why are you acting silly and being fun?
They haven't got any judgments on you.
So that's been quite easy. But it's quite a nice contrast to the times before where the last time I was sober, I was like, I'm going to change everything in my life. And I need to be sober for a month to make sure that when I change these things, I've done it on true self, clear mind. Yeah. So that's what the last sober journey was, that month. And then I moved back to London. I changed jobs. I did everything. Change. I moved back to London. I changed jobs. My relationship had changed as well. So I was in a different relationship space, or, I was sort of single and coping with being without that person and dealing with a whole fuck ton of feelings around that. So everything was different, and my my family needed me back in London as well. Like, they were starting to need me a little bit more, And I was just like, everything in my life is on fire. Everything's on fire. My relationship isn't what it was, or what I thought it was, or what I hoped it would ever be. My job is changing, and that's okay. But that, in conjunction with my family needing me, means I need to rethink about what I'm doing here. And where I am geographically.
That's a lot of things to think about.
So I went sober for it. Yeah. Instead of drinking through all of that, I was like, I need to feel all of this to know what to do.
What do you think that it would have been like if you were drinking at that time?
I probably wouldn't have done any of it.
Do you get shit done, babe?
I got shit done, man. I got shit done, but also I was brave. I was like, I'm awake to how I feel. I feel all of this, all these signals, and I feel where I'm being pulled. And because also I left a beautiful flat and a housemate I loved, who was like my husband almost. We had a life together in that flat. We had a home. It wasn't just a flat, it was a home. And my job, they were like family. Look, I'm teary about it.
Oh, my babe.
It was a hard time.
Give me your hand. Oh, my sweetie. It's okay to cry.
Oh, it was good.
It's okay to cry. Good. Get it out. Babe, I'm here.
But yeah, I went through the fire on it.
Yeah.
And it was great.
You should be proud of yourself for being able to stay so
good. Yeah, well, yeah, it was big.
Because they are some hard things to do.
And I left, well, not left, but I had to move on from stuff that I loved. Yeah. But because I had to make decisions for myself, and they were hard decisions. Yeah. But I wouldn't have done any of that without being sober. Because
it would have made it a lot more
I would have just stayed. I wouldn't have been brave. I would have just drunk through it and deffed it out and not rocked the boat and not been brave and not felt capable.
You're
so
strong.
yeah,
You're strong for doing that.
I kind of knew it was coming. So I was like, right, I know this is kind of emotion, and I need to be sober to
really recognise it and
to
feel
do it properly, and also to make sure that I'm not confusing one problem for another. Yeah, because that also happens. That if you're not really listening to your feelings very clearly,
everything feels like
you start thinking like, oh, it's not the relationship, it's the job, and it's like because you're deafing it out, and you don't want it to be the relationship, you want it to be the job because you want the relationship because there's love there. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
It does.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you need to kind of be super sober for those moments, because if you're not, I mean, I know judgments if you want to drink through hard times or whatever, I'm not saying that, but for me, to make the right decisions, I needed to hear all those feelings really, really clearly, because I was throwing all the cards in the air. So it was big. It was really big.
A lot of things for you to have to deal with.
Yeah, it was, but
look at you now.
I know, but I'm where I want to be. I got everything I wanted. I got the kind of relationship I was looking for, the kind of treatment I wanted. I was here now for my family. I'm back in London with my family. Yeah. And
met your mum today. She's great. And your brother.
And my brother. Yeah. You got the whole clan almost, apart from Pops, yeah. So I'm, being with them and being around them was incredibly important. And then doing where my heart is, doing what my heart is for.
This is what you're passionate about. And
exactly.
It's working. It's
it was a fuck of a journey. It really was. But
look at you now. Look what you have. It's
and
great.
This sober month feels completely different to the last one and the one before. So they are quite good milestones. It's nice to check in with yourself.
It's good that you're learning from it as well.
Yeah. Of course. The lessons are there if you want to have them. Yeah. And anyone could take a bit of time to be sober and tune in. You don't have to do it for a month. You don't have to do it for a lifetime.
Make it a lifetime commitment. It can just be like a way to really focus on your mental health for a month. Exactly. If you're going through something difficult, like reach out and get some support. And because it's so much easier being able to separate your drinking and your mental health. Like it's to focus on one thing rather than another, both together, all like blah, blah, blah.
Well, all that chatter that happens in your brain, and you don't know what the root of all of it is. It's all that kind of it's a big thing. So just to take a bit of time out and just be like everything in life, you have to ask, does it serve you? And even if you like booze and it's loads of fun and you're having a good time and you don't think you have a problem, ask yourself is it serving you right now? Yeah, and if it's not serving you right now, maybe switch it off for a little bit.
That's a really fucking good question to ask.
Is it giving you more hardship than it's giving you joy? And sometimes that can be a little hard to recognise with alcohol.
Oh, it's bloody hard to recognise. But even just thinking about it is fucking, you should be proud of yourself even
Yeah.
thinking those thoughts and asking you those questions to yourself, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. Give yourself props, you know, when you're...
Always give yourself props, even waking up and having a shower, give yourself props.
Absolutely. One of these comedians that I like has this thing that he says, which is miracles can happen every day. You just need to adjust your standards of what a miracle is. You know, and he does a whole bit about it. But,
I love that.
but
I love
you know,
that.
taking the joke out of it, you know, you can actually, you know,
Yeah.
find a bit more magic in the world if you kind of not lower your standards, but open your mind to some more gentle things, more
you
basic
don't
things.
you don't realize how much you do in a day if you're constantly at it. Like,
No.
actually just be in the moment.
Taking stock, being in the moment. Yeah.
Take some time to really
Yeah.
consider things. And it's a lot of things. We don't do it enough.
No, we don't. That's mindfulness all over, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
a whole nother conversation about mindfulness and all of those things. That's a whole nother journey.
Are you feeling
but...
okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. I'm very comfortable with being vulnerable, so don't mind me. I could clam up for a minute. I'm like, nah.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
I'll just be snotty on camera. It's fine. That's the one thing I hate about crying, though, because I get immediately like completely snotty, and I'm trying not to sniff because you'll hear it so much on the audio where I'm like,
Yeah, don't breathe.
you know. So I'm probably just gonna have to wrap this up and go and blow my nose for an hour and just you know,
It's been
all
a
of
good
that.
conversation.
So the take home is mindful drinking.
Yeah.
Talk to a friend. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get help.
Yeah.
And then you might find that you fill your time with other things that you've always wanted to do. You have more time for hobbies and things you
space.
talked about doing, and your friends might surprise you. People's reactions might surprise you. It might be hugely positive.
Learn something about yourself.
You might learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't have to be always forever. It doesn't have to be an on or off switch. It's a journey. Sobriety is a journey, and self-growth is a journey. So go on it.
And go, it's always going to be up and down. Just go for it. Just ride it. Just like surf it like a wave.
Surf it. Don't pay for a roller coaster. Live your life a roller coaster.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, you know, go with
Get
it.
your tits out.
Woo! Calm your tits. No. So on that bombshell, thanks for coming, mate.
Thank you.
Thank
my
you.
lovely.
It's been a pleasure.
You beautiful girl.